What's good? It is Sam here, and today I wanted to talk about the compounds that I use throughout the day and pre-workout. So, with that being said, if this is your first time here, what's good? My name is Sam, and for those of you who are returning, it is good to freaking see you. So the things that I'm going to mention in this video are not a recommendation that you should do what I'm doing or an endorsement of you doing anything that I'm doing. It's strictly for entertainment purposes. So today, as if you're new, I actually do TRT daily, and I do just under whatever 250 divided by 7 is. I think I do about 35 milligrams per day, and then about 2 days, 1 to 2 days per week. I don't do that shot, and sometimes I do closer to 30 milligrams. Depends on what's going on. If my girlfriend's coming to town, maybe I'll do 40 milligrams per day, because the effects that you might notice, or maybe you'll have a little bit of it, you're like, hey, I want to fucking increase my libido, right? My girlfriend doesn't live with me, so maybe during those times when she's going to be around, I'll increase my dose a little bit, and then when she's not around, I'll just go back to my 30 to 35 milligrams per day. So that was today. I also did have some questions about like the needles and whatnot. So I use an insulin syringe for my needles. I think I have a 5/8 inch in terms of the length. And the most common injection spot is in my glutes. So it's not very long needle. A lot of guys will like to use a longer needle. I'm using a short needle, and I'm using an insulin syringe. And then once I'm all the way up to the hilt, right? You're just fucking balls deep. Think of it like that. Then you're going to fucking, this is what I do. I push the needle in, because it's 5/8, so it sinks in probably at least another 1/2 inch to an inch, and then I actually push the syringe in. The longer needles I'm not a super fan of. I do have 1.5 inch needles, and I use them just to use them up, but I'm definitely not a fan of them. They're also, I think, a 25 gauge, where the insulin syringes are substantially smaller in terms of the gauge. I think I might have a 27 or 28 inch gauge. The most common question is like, can you get the compound to push through there? Yes, very easily. Plus, it's also like a tiny little amount, right? I just said 30 to 35 milligrams of testosterone. So like if you were doing a whole CC, yeah, maybe you would want a larger gauge needle. I don't particularly care to stab myself with the pipe, so I like the thinner needles. I do have, we're going to be testing this out at some point in the next month, so make sure you press that subscribe button. But I do have some SEO, which is some site enhancement. I think it's hydroclonic or something like that. Basically, it's one of the compounds that's like very, very available in our bodies already, and if you inject it, then it expands to about 2,000 times its original size, or can get up to that size, and it can potentially last for several months, up to like a year-ish. So I'm going to test this out. I've tried the insulin needles will not work with that. It is like sludge. The 1.5 inch 25 gauge will not work with that. It is also super, super thick. So I think I have a 20 gauge in there, and maybe a 22 gauge, that I will actually have to try that out. Those are like those giant needles. It's like 3 cc's, and it's got the pipe at the end. It's not like a needle, it's like a fucking pipe. Just kidding, it's just like a needle, but just a wider diameter. So I will be trying that. I'm going to do specifically this pec is smaller relative to this one for whatever reason, probably to do with training over the years. There was probably some type of muscle imbalance or something that I didn't catch sooner. So I've been working on bringing this side up for the last couple of years. But when you have such a big imbalance that you've created over years, and then you just notice it, it takes a long fucking time for me to correct that. So I've noticed this side drastically increase, but I wanted to try something like an SEO to see what the effect was. Plus, I've never tried it before. I just want to try it out and see what it's like. So make sure you press that subscribe button and the bell notification so you can get notified. By the way, I can't leave source links on YouTube, because of the terms of service. But what I can do is tell you to go check out my Instagram. And while you're over there, you might want to look at my profile, just so you know, because I can't actually leave sources down below in the YouTube description here. But there is a link for Instagram down below. So the pre-workout today, which I actually, and I'm speaking of my chest, so there's a certain part of my chest and it's very, very tight, or like a giant chunk of muscle. So I do foam roll my chest often, but that was exactly where I actually injected the hexarelin, right into that fat part of my muscle that's like, I'm trying to foam roll it out, and I've been foam rolling it out for probably pretty regularly for about the last 6 months, and it's drastically helped with the size to me getting better contractions on my chest for sure. That's tremendously helped with that. I've also been foam rolling out my tricep, and that's also helped with this tricep too, because not only with the chest, but I feel that this tricep is also more developed than this tricep. So I potentially might use the SEO in my tricep, but I'm just going to start with the chest and see how that goes, because I don't see as much of a difference with the tricep. But I've been foam rolling with a ball on my tricep, and I feel like that's also helping in terms of being able to get a better contraction in my triceps when I'm foam rolling. And I'll like do it for several minutes, several times a week on a specific muscle, right? Like if I'm rolling on my chest, I might do a set, then go foam roll for 3 or 4 minutes, then go to a set, and then foam roll for 3 or 4 minutes, then go to a set, and just back and forth. It's just sitting there on my phone, like do something productive, and I'll get up and foam roll. And maybe I'll roll across the top and work my way down, or I'll just find the spot where you can feel like a knot or that area, and I'll like put the ball right into there where it's like almost slightly uncomfortable, and just lean into it and just consciously really try to think about relaxing that muscle that's under tension right now. And it works. It definitely works. I'm going to get actually a bigger ball for my legs and quads, because I've got a racquetball size ball, and when I do my legs, it basically just like goes all the way into my leg, and I think I can get better results by using a slightly larger ball to foam roll my legs. So I did the hexarelin 200 micrograms into my right pec here, and then for a pre-workout, I actually smoked some weed and took DMAA as a pre-workout, but also I used S4 as a pre-workout. I like S4 a lot. I don't think I'll probably take it like consistently anymore every day, but maybe for like a week or two at a time, or just putting it in like this. You can check out the channel for the video. I think it's probably going to be before this one or after this one, to see the physique update. And I did some shoulders today and triceps, and I had a pretty fucking massive pump in my shoulders, completely massive. And because of the S4, I felt like I was looking very dry. I actually have to go watch the footage, because this is based upon me looking in the mirror, so I'm not sure how the footage is actually looking, because I haven't watched it yet, but I felt that I was looking very, very dry with that. And that's on top of being in South Carolina. I don't have an apartment yet. I'm staying at my buddy's house. I don't have the routine or rhythm in place for my diet. So my diet's clean, pretty clean. And I'm still, and because my diet's not on point 100%, I'm actually increasing the cardio that I'm doing to offset not having the diet on point, because I don't have like a kitchen really to do stuff. I do, but not really. It's not my kitchen. I'm staying at my buddy's place, so I'm doing a little bit of meal prep, but it's not fully, and I'm eating out way more. So the quality of my diet has a lot of opportunity to get better, and one of those things to help offset that, so that I don't put myself in a spot where I don't want to be, gaining fat, I'm increasing the cardio I'm doing, and I'm doing low intensity steady state. So I do list cardio on the Stairmaster or the treadmill at like the highest incline, or maybe the elliptical at the highest incline, but I don't do the elliptical very often. More so the Stairmaster is primary, and then the treadmill every once in a while. So I appreciate you guys. If you have any questions down below, by the way, if you do go over to Instagram and you happen to find something and there was a affiliate link and you needed help with something, take a screenshot of you using my affiliate link, and then we can have a call. I can answer any questions you might have. It's free. Like, I'm not charging you or whatever. Like, if you're going to use my affiliate link, and you, like, I appreciate that. So take a screenshot, send it to me on Instagram or wherever, and we can get on a call or something like that, and I can answer questions for you. Appreciate you. Peace the fuck out of here.